You are most welcome to yet another edition of the FDTV News Round. I am Isaac Wakalanga. Now feel free to follow us on all our social media platforms, that is Faraja Television on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. A lot of stories have been making rounds within the week. Now these are the top headlines that have made news this week. The online guild presidential campaigns at the Islamic University in Uganda, Kampala campus have kick-started. The National Youth Council members in the Acholi sub-region have adopted a motion of school reopening in the wake of increased teenage pregnancies. Now this is the news in detail. The change of guards at the students' leadership queue at the Islamic University in Uganda has kick-started, with the guild presidential race already ongoing and campaigns are already in the drive. Now, one of the candidates in this race, Honorable Musana Arafat, strongly believes that the voices of students at all faculties need to be amplified so as to be able to meet the needs of these students. Take a look.
My fellow students, my name is Musana Arafat, a presidential aspirant at the Islamic University in Uganda, Kampala campus. I stand here today, humbled by the task before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed always, mindful of the sacrifices you have made. A vote for Musana is a vote for student-centered governance. We want to focus on the learning scheme, that we do not want to see any student miss exams because of lack of tuition. The second one, we want to focus on the foreign policy. This means marketing our institution outside IU, and we want to participate and compete in all competitions, inclusive of the debate competitions, the human rights debate competitions, the mood competitions outside, and the national competitions. We want to focus on the media challenge for media students, and we want to introduce other challenges in the other faculties that do not have. The third point is we want to empower university clubs by making them effective and implementing whatever they do. The fourth being the healthcare policy.
Now, moving on Monday, at the Gulu Secondary School main hall, Ms. Apio Prudency, the Secretary of Women's Affairs on the Gulu City National Youth Council, came out to say that the high prevalence of teenage pregnancies within the Acholi sub-region has hit a high, with close to 1,545 cases having been registered. Now, she said this while quoting a research by the Uganda Radio Network.
Teenage pregnancy has really been the talk of the city, as I can say, and it's really so heartbreaking as a female affairs of Gulu City that the number of teenagers who are getting pregnant continue to spike in Gulu City. Well, according to the research conducted by the Uganda Radio Network, between January and June, a number of 1,545 girls in Gulu got pregnant during this second phase of the pandemic. And sincerely, Gulu City has been, like in Acholi sub-region, it has been ranked number 3 in the prevalence of teenage pregnancy.
Now, according to Ms. Apio Prudence, one of the causes of high prevalence of teenage pregnancies within the region is as a result of girls being idle because of not opening schools.
I can say some of the causes are idleness. Our young girls are idle because the schools are closed, and you find that a number of girls have nothing to do just apart from being at home, and you find that they really have nothing to do apart from maybe going around. And secondly, I can say that their personal needs, because you find that a young girl cannot afford to get pads, and the best option that she opts for is going to men to acquire those things. And thirdly, some of the girls are being forced raped, because we had a scenario in Gulu West whereby a relative raped a young girl of 13 years old, and that case was reported to the police, and it's being handled because the girl was raped by the uncle.
Now, sticking along the same lines, Honorable Adongo Akidi Colin, the female secretary of Women's Affairs in Agago District, also added that parents ought to take responsibility to safeguard their children to ensure that they don't get pregnant at the early stages. Take a look.
With teenage pregnancy, the causes that are coming, the causes that are bringing all this, we cannot only pin this blame into school only, but rather there are so many other issues that can cause in the teenage pregnancy. One, we can also bring this to parenting guidance. We understand that in some points, there are some parents that are not really paying attention to their children, because you cannot only say, okay, now school, now that they're out of school, parents are doing ABC and that. But of course, are we really, as parents, are we paying attention to our kids? Are we knowing how they're doing? Do we always check on them? Do we always have some time with them? Do we always create time for them? We understand that parents are not creating time for their children. Every time they're busy with work, and then at the end of it all, by the time you realize how your kids are, a girl is really pregnant. Because as a girl, of course, you know, there are so many changes that comes. There are stages that you reach, and then you're like, I think I'm mature. I think I can be this and that. You're in that trial moment. When you're in your trial moment, more especially you're in for adolescent, and of course attention is not given unto you, and then of course some training is not given unto you. You end up doing something that is weird. And then another thing is that the girls are lacking what they call sexual reproductive health training. You know, when you're a girl, there are things that you experience, and when you experience it and you're not being trained, or you're not being taught how to handle when it comes, you know, at the end of it all, you find you're messing up. I think that is why girls are messing up, because they are lacking this training. So,
furthermore, sticking with the teenage pregnancy question, the District Youth Council Chairperson of Maracha District, Mr. Gongolek Francis, also added that the leadership at the Youth Council level is coordinating with partners like Save the Children and Action Plan to sensitize the locals about the importance of the girl-child education.
We have involved a number of partners, development partners. I can assure you we have Save the Children who has come. Actually, we got these statistics from the Save the Children. We had a meeting with them, and we have Plan International. So we are going to do what is called sexual productive health education for the young people. We want to tell them on how they should live, and sexuality education. By the way, one also other factor that has given up rise in this is the issue of the cultural setback. You know, our culture seems to also have a contribution in this vis-a-vis the issue of the lockdown and the schools being closed. So now the culture looks at girls as wealth at the expense of education. So now you see, but when girls are in school, they interact. So now we are going to handle what is called sexuality education, for example, to the girls and to the young people, so that they see the value of, first of all, they mature. Because now they don't need to leave early. You get the point. We don't need to leave early, but we grow so that our opportunities are widened in the future. And see the importance of girls as a priority to this nation.
Now, in the local sports, the Uganda Cranes was held to a goalless draw by the Harambee Stars of Kenya in a game played out at the Nyayo Stadium in Kenya. Now, in the other group game in Group E for the Qatar World Cup qualifiers, Mali was able to beat Rwanda by 1-0. Take a look.
Lunga now running towards the centre-forwards position. That's a good-looking cross, a chance. Oh, and it's been headed wide by Abdallah Hassan. He's had both of Kenya's significant efforts so far. Ochaya. Okwi. The shot, and Otieno gets in behind it. Ochaya shoots on target, caught that well.
Now, sticking with the local sports, in Afro basketball, the Silverbacks of Uganda were able to beat Nigeria by 80-68, which was able to move them to the quarterfinals of the Afro basketball.
Of this game will take on Cape Verde in the quarterfinals. So a lot at stake here. Ish Wainwright comes right out and is right on target. Emelogu now, guarded by Dingu. He's going to play Rastafeta next season. Nice drive inside by Emelogu.
Dribble, pull-up jump shot. Very nice. Got to keep moving the ball sharp, Uganda.
Pump fake, Inabu at the free throw line. Nice spin, Dingu. Inabu, shot clock winding down, has to launch it and gets another one to go. So Domingo goes out, Utomi goes out, and it's nice to see Agu come into the game. He's been one of the real bright spots. Here's Opong, another three, and it's 21-6.
Now, in another game that was played at the quarterfinals, sadly, the Silverbacks were able to lose to the Cape Verde by 71-79.
Opong gives Uganda the lead. Nice pass inside, but a good interception by Wainwright stops it being a dead cert. Javier for three! Cancels out Opong's three at the first opportunity. Nabu to Opong, shot clock at 2. Opong inside, who's going to get the shot away? Draliba does in time and drops the mid-range 2. Wainwright trying to go past Coronel, trying to shake him with the crossover. Double team. Is he going to hit the 3? You are kidding me! Ismail Wainwright is unconscious right now. Uganda are now in control. Look at this replay. Look at this.
Now, the coach of the Silverbacks, Coach George Galanopoulos, came out to say that the experience he has had with the lads at the competition is one not to forget. And he is extremely proud of the lads.
It was incredible to be a part of. And I personally am just so proud of our guys. Every time they face some form of adversity, a loss, a bad game, whatever the case may be, they've come back and they've recovered. And this was no different. They watched the film. We talked about it as a team after the last game. We got on the practice court. They were locked in, they were engaged, and they believe. They believe in each other, they believe in themselves. We're going to enjoy this win. We understand how monumental it is. Our players have a very good understanding of the bigger picture and what this means besides just winning basketball games to not only the country of Uganda, but for generations to come. It's very impactful, and it's something that we don't take for granted, and it adds a little extra motivation to play and coach our hearts out. And we're going to enjoy this and get back at it on the practice court, watch the film, see where we can be better, and prep for Cape Verde. We're not done yet.
Now, thank you for joining me on this week's Bulletin. It's been an honor and a joy having you with me on set. Now, feel free to follow us on all our social media platforms. That is Faraja Television, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Also, feel free to subscribe on our YouTube channel. That is Faraja Television. Now, from me and the rest of the guys in the studio, it's a bye. See you next time.